All right. Grand Rising, everyone. It's Shay Seeking or Shalonda. And I don't know. I guess after just reading a little bit of this, I chose this image here. Um, for this video. And again, this doesn't, it's just the amount of symbolism that kind of led me to look at this because, again, I think we get stuck so much into what educational and religious institutions have instilled in us in the perceptions that they've given, keep our minds locked and formed into if this has to do with this, it's not that. And then, so I think the way that I share is just, giving an open, non-biased, symbolic, allegorical, parabolistic type of understanding or whatnot when it comes to what each section, as far as like the education system, when it comes to religious aspects and things like that. I just think that we get a lot of things entangled. So through Christianity, one may look at the light as, hold on, let me see something more like this, right? Again, because we're really talking about energy and frequency, right? And people's interpretation of something, right? We're always talking past, present, and future. The word is living, so it conforms and adjusts and adheres to things throughout the test of time. It's just the false narratives and perceptions that we've gained that lock us into seeing it in one way. So again, in Christianity, you'll see it like this, right? But I think the spiritual sense gives us more to take in and observe. Okay, when it comes to art or just reading things in general through visuals. So I don't know. I just kept this image again because I just leave an open mind when it comes to those type of things. Okay, so I can see it in the many different layers and textures and the weaving of all of it throughout the test of time is how I'm interpreting it. Okay, so again, this is not your mama's Bible study. And we are going to be going into 1 Peter. Now, I had other things on my mind that I was doing, but there was something very refreshing. The past couple of days, I've kind of just been sitting somewhat in solitude, just trying to get balance from a chapter or something that has come and close to I guess that's how I can kind of explain it. But it was feeling like an ending, but it was a death even of something. But it's only so that something can be renewed and tried and restored. You see what I'm saying? So again, I'm going to try to keep this one. I'm going to do the whole chapter, but I'm going to try to keep them down to 30-minute increments. I'm trying not to do, I've been in the hour thing, but we're trying to do it in 30 minutes. So I might just have to chop it up into different versions. So again, I had my questions about reading Peter. I've even went through Peter before. I know what people say, about Peter. But then again, when it's something that's popular or a conformed way of viewing some of these things, like people, I noticed that we tend to say, well, if we hear this or if we might see it in a different light, we'll stick with that. Oh, Peter was this or that or whatever. And I noticed that sometimes when it comes to the religious aspect, it is to chop away something that is genuine and something that is underlining, that is more towards the truth. So if something is the truth, but it sounds very different than what you've heard and what you've been trained to think throughout the test of time through these particular constructs as religion and education, then that's just how you're going to see it. So right now, I think this whole cleansing and this whole thing is so that we can see it from the other aspects as well. And again, most of the time I feel like I put a feminine energy here, right? Even though it seems to be, right? Because again, it's for me, I'm just getting a little bit more clarity when it comes to masculine, feminine, androgynous, whatever. It feels like we're all really that. And something is just being unlocked right now. Where, again, someone that is a woman may be residing more in her masculine energy. Same thing with males. They may be acting in their more feminine energy. And again, so role reversals and tapping into each side and understanding and seeing yourself in those two different lights, right? So again, and it made me think about even going back to like he made them both male and female, right? So again, that may be making somebody masculine and feminine in their energy, and you have to exercise those in particular times, like war, like what it seems to be, or had been recently on this plane, right? In the spiritual warfare, right? Okay. So again, we're going to go ahead and read this because it really hit me and touched me today. I can resonate with this after being shown and seeing some of the things that I've seen. I feel like I'm seeing this a totally different way here. Okay. So again, it says from Peter. So again, Yeshaya, Christ missionary. Okay. So again, this is just based, and that's why I'm saying when we go into these chapters, I like to make sure I read that heading because it's mostly telling you who directly this message is led to, so we can find ourselves in the text. Do you see what I'm saying? I see a lot of you guys and a lot of the things that okay. So when I'm dealing with soul siblings or that connection, and when it deals with certain personalities or energies that I come across, right? Seeing it more so as that. Not judging people by the outward appearance, the way they look, the way they speak, and all these things, but going deeper within and seeing something else that is shining through them. So again, a lot of people that I've run across, and I don't even know how they got in my feed or how I ran across them on social media and stuff, I can see a light in them, and some things that they say, maybe they don't even realize they're saying exactly something from this text. and it's resonating with me because I'm in the text at that time. So within a amount of time, when I'm reading this stuff, it'll take me back to a certain person or spirit or soul, right? Okay. So again, so this is from Peter, Yeshua's, we'll just say Jesus. Okay. Christ missionary. So again, this is who this is from and who he was to Christ. Okay. It says to the Jewish, right? Christians. Now this is a living Bible. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get into, I'm going to open up to this and so we can just make sure we see. Hold on. Okay, apologies. I had to I had to double back now, see? Okay, so we'll just read this portion and then I'll start too. Okay, so, I mean, it's kind of like even, yeah. Okay, we'll just start with one. Okay, we're going to start with one. Okay. And there's some reason why this came to me today, and now it's registering to me the things that I, the visions and the things that I've seen, and it's all kind of like adding up, and hopefully we'll get more clarity as we read through it. Again, this is just my somewhat testimony. It is a way that I'm expressing some of the things that Source has done in my life, again, in order to open my eye, right? So, yeah, okay. Okay, Peter, an apostle. Okay, so it says and. So he had more apostles, or it wouldn't separate it like that. Of Yeshua Christ or Yeshaya. And when we're saying Yeshaya Christ, I'm thinking this is talking about also, even if we're looking at it like, okay, what we will see today will be a form of a male and a female energy. like a divine masculine and feminine energy together in the works that they can achieve together. Whenever I see Yeshua Christ, okay? And the Christ is sometimes that light that was hidden in the world, but then, brought forth in a sense, okay? And again, and then Yeshua would be the image that we've perceived throughout this time, but in a male form, right? So like in the Holy Spirit, so Christ in the Holy Spirit or the Holy One, or do you see what I'm saying? Okay. So like Israel and then the Holy One of Israel, kind of like that, okay? So it says to, now it's talking to a particular people, all right? Now this could be, the fact that it says that, okay, this is to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, yeah, Asia, and Bithynia, okay. Well, that's how it says it in the King James Version, okay. And it says, elect according to the foreknowledge of God. So again, these are the elect, right? According to the foreknowledge of God the Father, right? Through sanctification of the Spirit unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Yeshua Christ, okay? Grace unto you and peace be multiplied. Okay, so again, it's saying that, peace is going to be multiplied. And so again, just saying that foreknowledge, this is the knowledge like in the forehead or beforehand, or do you see what I'm saying? Okay. Something has came to the forefront, right? When it comes to even our so-called mental capacity and what we think we know about it, and we really have no idea. We have been taught certain things about the mind and spirituality, the way it works, but now is the time where we're actually being able to see and feel and sense and know these extraordinary things that, again, through what is right? The foreknowledge, the knowledge of God before, right? Or in the forefront, that's been pulled to the forefront, I feel, through the Akashic records and other ways of seeing and using our gifts, okay? It's kind of like what we're talking about, okay? And just actually really making sure that we're using discernment, clairvoyance, and a non-biased approach, and not out of fear, right? To understand what's going on, because then that's going to direct the energy towards what's being built now. If we, and I noticed that with me, if you see everything in this negative light, then things can start to fall away, right? And again, so 1 second. Okay. All right. So it says, all right. So again, these grace unto you and peace be multiplied. So again, I think that this energy is moving through. Okay. And it says, blessed be the God. Now, blessed be the God. So it's not saying God like you know exactly which one we're talking about. It's saying the God. That's a separation of gods, right? Because again, Elohim or gods, there are different gods. Why call God Jehovah in one place and then call him God here and then say don't worship other gods? Because again, that's something we must know. There might be a separation to a certain extent, right? The Holy Spirit is the thing that keeps it whole and keeps it right and keeps it all together, I feel, right? The Ruach. Like being able to like go into that energy of all seeing in a sense, right? Even I think about this right here. I'm looking at, hold on. Okay, let's see. All right, so even this here I'm seeing, and then, even I was looking at the little seal here, like in a sense where, the sun or the eye of Horus even, or some people may think it's a different type of eye. What in the world is that? Oh my goodness, it is a badger out here in my backyard and or a beaver? Okay. I guess there's a spiritual sense to this. Thought I seen him like early in the morning the other day, but now he out here in the broad daylight. Okay, so anyways, we see the rays coming down when we look in ancient Egypt. And hold on one second.